Hi, I'm Colin. Welcome to Learn Somatics. In today's video, I want to show you a simple way to release tension in the fronts of the legs, the quads, make your knees feel more comfortable, and also into the fronts of the hips as well. So let's get started. So to begin this movement, we want to have our knees bent, feet flat. So let's start with this left leg. When we're doing this movement, you're going to pick up your knee like so, and the action of the leg is going to be as if, imagine you were standing and you were stepping over an obstacle. So for example, I'm lifting my knee and I'm going to send my leg out and over the obstacle, and then I'm going to look almost like I'm reaching for the ground if I was standing. And then slowly let the leg come down. And then slowly bring the leg back to bent so we can do another repetition. So it's this idea of reaching out and over with the leg as it comes back down to the floor. That's the movement pattern we want to pandiculate. And when you do this, you may want to put a little bit of weight through your right foot. If you need to press down a little with this foot so you feel like you're stable, that's fine. So again, bring the knee up. And then you're going to reach out over the obstacle. And slowly come on down. The leg doesn't have to be straight, it can be slightly bent, that's fine. Just make it comfortable for yourself. And then completely let the leg relax. Now, come on back, let's go again. Depending on how tight you are in your hips and your legs, you may want to step over a smaller obstacle. So for example, you might only want to pick it up like so, and go, I'm just going to lift over a small obstacle, let my leg come down here, and then slide it out. Okay, so you can modify this to suit yourself. Bring it back up. And if you do need to modify it and step over a smaller obstacle, as you repeat, you should find that you can increase and go over a bigger obstacle each time. And when your foot comes down, just let it straighten out. And then pause for a moment. And then bring your leg back to that start position so you can go again. Now I'm going to do a couple of repetitions going over a bigger obstacle, so you can see that too. Knee comes up, press down through your right foot a little, step out and over the imaginary obstacle, and let the leg come down nice and slow. Really good for your hip flexor, really takes in your rect fem, which crosses your hip joint and your knee joint, your rectus femoris. Okay, now at some point as you're lifting the leg and doing the action, you may find that there's a point along the movement that feels a little cranky or a little funky in your leg, in your hip. So what do? That's basically a tight spot. So what you want to do is, as you're going through the movement, say I step out and I feel like at about here, it feels a little funny in my hip. So come back a little bit and then start the movement again. And do that a couple of times. So just kind of go through that section of the movement a couple of times, like you're polishing it. Go nice and slow. And by doing that, just by repeating it a couple of times and paying attention, you should be able to smooth it out and make it feel more comfortable to do. And then just finish out the movement as normal. And that can happen at any point along the way, and you can just repeat that section of the movements to clean it up. Then when you've done that, bring it back to the start position and see if you can do the movement now, and if that section has cleaned up. Step out over, just like you were doing, and now that feels much cleaner through the sticky point. And then slowly relax. Let's just do one or two more of these without any modifications. So we pick up the knee, we can press a little into our right foot if we need to, and then we step out over the imaginary object and our foot reaches for the ground. So it's very much like taking a step, the action of taking a step. Slowly letting the foot come down and then complete rest at the bottom. Slide the leg back up. Let's just do one more of these. Pick it up, pick up the knee, reach out over the obstacle, the imaginary obstacle. Really pay attention to the feeling of bringing the leg down nice and slowly and to complete rest. And as I said, if you can't go with the leg straight, just shorten the obstacle. Shorten the amount you reach out with the leg to make it comfortable. Okay, now let's lay out flat. See how that feels. Having done one side for a few repetitions, get a sense of the comparison between the left leg in this case and the right leg. You should get a feeling of more openness through the entire front of your leg and thigh. That's going to help your hip feel more comfortable and your knee. So now that you've done just one side, what I want you to do is hit pause and have a little walk around and see how that feels, comparing one leg to the other in movements back up in gravity when you're walking around. And then come on back and we'll do the second side. All right, so hopefully you've had a little walk around and you've got a sense of how different that feels through your legs. Let's repeat now and do the same thing on the second side. So I'm going to use my right leg this time. Two legs are bent, feet are flat. And we're going to pick up this right leg and we'll start with a small one. We'll assume we don't have much movement on this side. Reach out over with the leg, let the foot come down, slide the leg long and relax. And let's bring it back and repeat, picking the knee up. You can press into the left foot if you need to stabilize just a little bit. And we're going to reach out and step over the imaginary obstacle. It's a slightly bigger obstacle this time, so our leg's going to come down almost straight and then let it straighten out. And then slide it back up. And let's go for a very large obstacle now. Pick up the knee, step out over the imaginary obstacle. Feel how the leg gets heavy and let it come down slow, under control. You're in charge of it. Soft landing for the leg and then completely relax. And again, you adjust the amount you reach out with the leg for comfort. So stay within your own level of comfort. Don't do anything that's going to cause you discomfort or pain. Okay. And let's just on this side see if there's a sticky spot we can clean up. So if you imagine you get to here and you start to feel, oh, it's kind of cranky in my hip now. So you're going to come back a little bit and then reach out a little bit and come back a little bit and reach out a little bit. So you're going to just go through the part that's the problematic part a couple of times, just taking your time and seeing if you can make it feel smooth. And then continue out on your way to do the full repetition. And relax. And then slide the leg back up. And we'll do just 2 more full repetitions. And we go over a large obstacle. So we're reaching out and over, extending the leg, slowly letting the leg come down. Again, it might feel a little different on this side, depending on how tight your hips and legs are, side to side. And then last time, picking up the leg, stepping out over the obstacle. Press through your left foot if you need to for stabilization. Come down nice and slow. I can feel my groin releasing there when I do that, and relax. Okay, again, lay out flat. See how that feels. If you've done that slowly and carefully, you should feel nice and loose through the fronts of the legs, nice and loose through the fronts of the hips. Give that a try. Let me know how you get on. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.